We are live. This is the week before Thanksgiving, or the Sunday before Thanksgiving, I should say. I am your host, Dave, a 10 plus year intellectual property attorney dealing with everything from patents, copyrights, trademarks, as well as trade secrets. And hey, man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Your boy almost did make it today. Philly, Dallas is playing, and I got a couple Philadelphia players, AJ Brown as well as three, Goddard as well as the kicker in my fantasy, man. So it seems like Saquon Barkley just fumbled the ball, unfortunately. So it looks like that one is going to come down to the wire. I think it was 21-21 when I left. I had to come do this, man. I almost said skip it, but I had to kind of bring you guys intellectual property news or events in the news this week. Like I said, it's September or November 23rd, 2025, the Sunday before Thanksgiving. Hey, this November has flown by. I'm talking about flown by. Got Thanksgiving next Thursday. Then shit, we got to that. You're talking about Christmas. Then we're kind of off into it at that point. So we got a lot to get off into today. So we're gonna hit it and quit it. If y'all know what I mean, we're gonna hit it and quit it. We're not gonna keep you guys too long. A lot to talk about today. We got two lawsuits of the week. We have a patent, a new bike, a revolutionary bike with two bike chains. So we'll talk about that. We're actually going to start with that one. Monster Energy is suing Monster Straws for trademark infringement. And then two seafood boil companies are also kind of going back and forth with each other. Eminem has sued an Australian company called Shady. So we'll talk about that today. And then what was the other one that we're going to do? The interview of the week. So it wasn't a Shark Tank pitch of the week, so we're not going to talk about that this week. But the interview of the week, Varsity Gripz, a young cat, man, he down in Florida killing the game. So we'll kind of play that snippet from that interview and kind of give you my thoughts on that one as well. So again, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm, as well as hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And let's get off into it here. So we're going to start with 2 Chainz. This is what I'm calling this one, 2 Chainz. And hey, if you kind of know me and you part of my circle, you'll know that reference to 2 Chainz here. So I'm not going to explain it. If you know, you know. That's all I'll say about that. So again, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. Also, if you have a question, let me know in the chat where you from, where you tuning in from, the name, so forth and so on. If you have a question, your boy, my billable rate is almost $400 an hour. So to the extent that you have an intellectual property question, please let me know in the chat. I'll do my best to answer it. I was checking my my IG messages, and your boy be getting hit up on IG. I don't if I'm not your friend, it kind of goes to like this spam message, and I check it every so often. There was a gentleman who plays rugby who wants to kind of talk to me, inquire about the IP services. So again, if you have a question on IP, just hit me up in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer that question. Like I said, your boy almost $400 an hour, my billable rate. So being able to kind of get a question answered for free, that's kind of what you want. But as we kind of get off into it here, this is and I'm going to go through this patent here really quickly. This is for a dual chain. Obviously, I guess one chain is not enough. They wanted 2 chains. Specialized, shout out to Specialized. I have to try to get them on the platform. It seems like it's a startup company that they're releasing this bike, this mountain bike, I should say, with 2 chains. Now, your boy hasn't rode in a bike in a long time. But look, your boy from that era of trick bikes and just one chain, you have the pegs, put each other on the pegs. You may even ghost ride the bike. But it seems like the bikes have gotten super advanced these days. This bike from Specialized Company, they just filed for a patent. No, they not just, the patent application was just published. They filed it maybe a month and a half ago. But they have filed for a patent application or a patent on a bike with 2 chains. So I do also, when I'm doing these, I like to kind of give you guys some information. So we're going to go through the patent, the first claim of the patent. Now, what you see here to the left, these are the claims of the patent. The claims are the most important part of the patent application. So any one of you guys out there who filed for a patent application, you know that the patent, the claims of the patent is the most important part of it. And we're going to go through the first claim in this one, just so you guys kind of get an understanding of what that claim looks like. Typically, at least in the U.S., you are allowed 20 claims. So you see the claim section here. They have 20 claims. They have 2 independent claims, claim 1, as well as, let's see the other one, claim 17. But we're just going to go through claim 1. And you see the figures here I have to the right of the patent. You see the bike. You have the, 2 chains here. So let's get off into it here. A drivetrain for a bicycle a drivetrain comprising a spindle. So if we go to figure 2, the spindle is 62, which you have here. This is kind of middle portion of it, the spindle. Then you have a chain. The chain is what you see here, 136. That's kind of going around that. Well, it's not on the spindle, but the chain 136. Then you have a chain forming a closed loop, having an inner periphery and an outer periphery. And then you have an idler. The idler is 138. Say the idler is rotatable around the spindle, where the spindle is engaged with the outer periphery of the chain. So you see the chain 136 is engaged with that 138, the outer periphery. The idler is engaged with the outer periphery of the chain. So and then they don't show it. They don't have it claimed an independent claim. But if you go down to claim figure 3, for example, you see the other claim, the secondary chain, which is 80, which is you see there. So this is a bike with 2 chains. Hence, my calling it 2 chains here at the title here. So again, I'm going to do a video kind of breaking down a little bit more in detail about patents, kind of reading through the claims, which again is the most important part of it. And to the extent that you are, a big bike advocate and you ride bikes, be on the lookout for that bike that's coming out. I think they said in 2026. So shout out to Specialized for their bike chain as we move on here to the interview of the week. We're going to kind of talk about the interview before we get off into the BS of the week here. Man, shout out to Maurice, young guy, man, down in Florida. He's killing the game. And we're going to kind of play this snippet from his interview. I come out with an interview every week. And Maurice, like I said, I think he's still in school, I think, down in university down in Florida. Maybe he's a senior or whatever the case may be. But let's take a look at what he has to say. Can't believe I didn't have my mic on me all this time, but let's take a look at what Maurice has to say. Let me make sure I don't have it on what's the name. So let's go and see what Maurice has to say. Let's go.
It's hard to starting a business is like jumping off a cliff and like building your parachute on the way down. That's really like what it is, I started a company, worked extremely hard on it, and kind of knowing when to pivot too. Like I was like, I got to a point where I was like, okay, tech is not easy. I'm not a CTO. So like this company will not grow unless we like fully kind of revamp it. So I was like, okay, I can either do that and or potentially come up with another idea that gets going and then revisit this when we're ready to rebuild it. So like that knowing of like, obviously you want to have full belief in you and yourself and your company, but if there's something in the business that you need to change or pivot, like that is super crucial. Because for example, like a pivot we did is like we used to sell individual items, but now we only sell like bundled items. And it's like that pivot alone was like so big for us, So important and crucial steps like that is like really analyzing and making important decisions for your company's growth.
And so let's check out that interview we just dropped this week. And it's with a youngster. This guy, he is in college, university. He has a grip cover for all you game heads out there. He has a grip cover that goes over your controller, and it also has some type of cover for your game console, whether you have the Xbox, whether you have the PS, a PlayStation, whatever the case may be. And he was talking about how he had to pivot because initially he seemed like he had a technology company, and he kind of put that to the side and focus on his grip cover. And again, it seems like he's killing it. 50,000 units he has sold of his grip cover. He bundled the grip cover as well as the game console. So, man, this guy is crushing it. Maurice, be on the lookout for him. The name of the company is Varsity Gripz. Varsity, I think, Gripz with a Z as opposed to an S at the end of it. And like I said, this young fella is killing the game, 50,000 units. I think he's only been around for like a year or two. So he's killing. He's made $1 million. In other words, this guy's made $1 million, which I always want to kind of push you guys to be entrepreneurships. Just think about this shit. This guy is 23 years old, however it is when you were a senior in college, and has made millions of dollars with this game. He has licenses from pretty much all the universities throughout the United States, West Virginia, Ohio State. He even has a license from the United States Army to be able to use their kind of trademarks for his grip cover. So again, to the extent, like I said, you're a gamer and you have your favorite college team, be on the lookout. Go check it out, man. Christmas is around the corner. So go purchase it for yourself. Purchase it for kind of your loved ones, your friends, your family. It's a pretty affordable item. And yeah, man, shout out to Maurice. Go check out that interview on Everything Intellectual Property, the YouTube channel. So I do want to kind of I didn't have this, what's the name, but I do want to play this video. It seems like the snowmobile was invented here recently. So I do want to kind of talk about the snowmobile. And look, I'm in Michigan, man, and it's it's still actually pretty good weather, but we know winter is around the corner. We know the snow is around the corner, and the snowmobile was invented here recently. So I do want to kind of play this video that was on the news highlighting the snowmobile. Then I kind of give you guys my thoughts here. So let's kind of play this video that was highlighted recently. Let's go.
As part of We the People, celebrating 250 years, here's this day in history.
As we count down to America's 250th birthday next summer, we're sharing our We the People series.
Let me know where y'all from.
Places
and I got a question, put it in the chat.
That have shaped our country to what it is today.
Hello again. On this day, November 22nd, 1927, the first snowmobile patent was granted. And of course, it was a northern Wisconsin man who made it happen. Carl Eliason from the small town of Sainer. You can see the original 1924 snowmobile at the Vilas County Historical Museum. Eliason had a club foot and he tried all kinds of equipment to get out into the woods, but nothing was working, so he made it himself. After years of refining his
This is the first ever snowmobile. Now, I've never rode on a snowmobile. I've been on jet skis. I've been on a lot of other vehicles, off the road vehicles. I've never been on a snowmobile, but this is the first ever snowmobile that was patented back in November 22nd, 1927. I think that was the year of the Great Depression, if I'm not mistaken. And this, I'm in Michigan. This was invented in Wisconsin. Makes sense that it was in Midwest because you're going to get a ton of snow in the Midwest. Let's go.
Called motor toboggan. He finally got the patent for the first modern snowmobile and made 40 of them. Oh, they were powerful, roaring at 2.5 horsepower. He sold the design after getting an order for 200 machines.
Hey, you check that out. He got the patent on the snowmobile, and he got 200 orders and sold the patent. I'm telling y'all, man, this IP stuff is valuable.
It's from Finland. There were other machines that could travel on snow, but it said Eliason's was the first to represent a true snowmobile. That's this day in history for November 22nd. For We the People, I'm Charlie Shortino.
So shout out to the gentleman in Wisconsin. Hey, 200 snowmobiles, and it seems like he has sold his design to somebody in Finland. So, again, I think the United States is the greatest country in the world, obviously. And the great thing about intellectual property is this is not a U.S. thing. This is a worldwide thing. He got a U.S. patent. He got 200 orders. Next thing you know, he sold them to a company in Finland, or a person or a company in Finland, or whatever the case may be. So, man, shouts out to that gentleman. I thought that was pretty cool. That wasn't on a docket, but I just came across that earlier today, and I thought I'd share that with you guys. Let's kind of move on to the BS now. This is not a live if we don't have the BS. Your boy Eminem has sued, talking about Finland. He has sued somebody from Australia for trademark infringement. Let me kind of pull up this thing here for Slim Shady. So kind of let me pull up the article here. Now, I want you guys to let me know, do you guys think this is trademark infringement or not? Let me pull up this thing, man. Let me see what's going on. That's not what I wanted to see. But essentially, this is Slim Shady. This is the company. They have essentially, to the extent that you want to go to the beach by yourself, they have a shade. You see the beautiful young lady under a shade. It's called Slim Shady. That's essentially what they have. Canopies. If for single people who going out to the beach themselves, again, they call it Slim Shady. And it looks like Eminem did not take too kindly of that, and he sued this company. And again, the company is actually out of Finland, which I think is interesting. Your boy Eminem has sued him for trademark infringement. Obviously, we know Eminem, and again, he's in Detroit. Your boy in the Detroit metro area as well. And Eminem, who they call Slim Shady, has sued the company Slim Shady or trademark infringement. Let me kind of pull up the article here. I'm not going to go through it. I did a full video on that, so go check out the article. But Eminem takes legal action against Slim Shady Beach Umbrella, saying that it's confusingly similar. So you guys have to let me know. I want you guys to let me know in the chat. Do you think that Eminem Slim Shady is confusingly similar to Swim Shady. In other words, if you saw Swim Shady, you've seen these kind of canopies, do you think that's somehow affiliated with Eminem, aka Slim Shady? I think that Swim Shady has a good, they have a good they have a good chance of winning this one, in my opinion. Now, your boy only been doing this for 10 years, but I think Swim Shady has a good chance. I don't think it's trademark infringement, in my opinion. I get it, Slim Shady, Swim Shady, they have swim that similar. However, again, we know that Eminem doesn't do canopies and kind of that thing. So, I just don't think it's trademark infringement. But let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let's see what we think here. What does Denson 28? Why he says definitely not affiliated with Slim Shady. So I would tend to agree with you, Denson. I think obviously Swim Shady, you're talking about a canopy, which we just showed it, the picture to the left. And I don't think that somehow is going to get anyway confused with Eminem and Slim Shady. So that's kind of my opinion. It seems like Brandon, he agrees with me in the chat, but we'll see how this plays out. I've seen crazier things. Like I said, I think Swim Shady, which, like I said, by the way, is an Australian company. So they're selling this stuff. I think they have some patents on it as well. And this is another thing that I want to kind of try to push you guys to get off into this intellectual property stuff, coming out with a product. And as I kind of talk about coming out with a product, go check out that ebook that I have, Got IP. It's kind of giving you ideals to come up with a product and all the way to monetizing that product. We're talking about manufacturing. We're talking about intellectual property. We're talking about marketing. And definitely go check out the ebook, Got IP. And Brandon, if you can put that in a chat, I think this is a good one, because you have a company in Australia who's selling their canopies. They actually got a trademark name, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for Swim Shady in the U.S., and they're selling their canopies in the U.S. So kind of shouts out to them. And that's another thing why I don't think it's trademark infringement. If you get a trademark in the U.S., if an examiner, now obviously this is not a hard rule, but if the USPTO doesn't think it's a trademark infringement and awards a trademark on your mark, then I don't think that, in my opinion, I think that's evidence that it's not trademark infringement. Like I said, it'll be taken into an account. Just because the USPTO doesn't think it's trademark infringement, that doesn't necessarily think that that doesn't mean that the court will kind of side with you. But I do think it's good evidence that it's not trademark infringement, in my opinion. So that's just kind of what I think about it. Let's kind of move on here to I think we have one more. Do we go back to the what's name? So we talked about Swim Shady. We talked about Varsity Gripz. We talked about 2 Chainz. Okay, we got the lawsuits of the week. So we got 2 lawsuits that we're going to talk about. And the first one, I think is fitting. Seafood boil. Now, this is the case. We're going to pull up the lawsuit and go through it. But man, it's Thanksgiving is around the corner, and I've been to Thanksgiving, at least in a black delegation. We typically do the turkey, the dressing, the greens, the macaroni and cheese. But sometimes they be switching it up on you, man. I was at Thanksgiving at my sister's house. This had to be like 4 or 5 years ago, and they had the seafood boils. So I'm not sure. It seems like some families, they do seafood boils to switch it up from the traditional Thanksgiving. But it looks like in this case, we have 2 companies going after each other for trademark infringement. Let's kind of pull it up here, kind of go through the lawsuit here really quickly. Then we got this lawsuit, and then we got one more, and then we'll get you guys up out of here for the day. I'm going to go check out this game, man. Hopefully the Eagles came back. Really, to be honest with you, I don't care if the Eagles won or not. I just want my guys to do good so I can win this fantasy football game. Come on. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. So here we go. So this is the seafood boy. So we got Boiling Crab franchise versus the Boiling Seafood. Let's kind of go through the preliminary statement here really quickly. And again, please hit that like button in the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button if you're not part of the IP community already. And hey man, let me know where you're from in the comments. Shout yourself out. If you got a question on intellectual property, put that question in the chat. Like I said, somebody hit me up on IG today. Well, they hit me up a while ago, but I'm not friends with them. So it went to my spam, and I just so happened to check my spam. And they had a question on IP, man. This guy's a rugby player, kind of does a lot of different things. It seems like he's from across the pond as well. So again, if you have a question, man, I'm going to answer it for free. Your boy billing rate is almost $400 an hour. So to get that answer for free, that's big time. So definitely do that in the chat as I'm going through this trademark lawsuit. And I want you guys to let me know in the comment section as we're going through this lawsuit. Do you think it's trademark infringement? Do you not think it's trademark infringement? Let's go. So since 2004, so 21 years ago, consumers have relied on plaintiffs, who was the Boil and Crab franchise. We'll call them Boil and Crab, strong and inherently distinctive, the Boil and Crab trademark, to identify their iconic and critically acclaimed restaurants. The Boil and Crab marks, as well as its inherently distinctive Eat With Your Hands trademark, embody their sterling reputation for industry-leading Cajun-influenced Louisiana-style seafood that extends nationwide due to the consistency, high quality, whatever. That's kind of, we talked about the parties. I'm going to skip jurisdiction and venue. We're trying to get to the good stuff. So the Boil and Crab apparently is the plaintiff. Plaintiff owns and is in the business of administering the franchise and licensing of the IP. So this is another good thing about owning your intellectual property, is the fact that, and I got a client who's a gym company. He has like 3 or 4 locations, and he's starting to franchise his gyms, but we had to trademark. We got like 2 or 3 trademarks so far on his gym, different logos and sayings. And that's important when you're talking about franchising, making sure all the intellectual property is put together, it's protected. In this case, you're talking about trademarks. That's extremely important to make sure you're protecting, especially when you're looking to franchise your business, whether it's restaurants, whether it's gyms, whatever the case may be. So it seems like in this case, the Boil and Crab is franchising their stuff and they're protecting their IP. Looks like they have a lot of locations, 18 locations in California alone. They got some locations in Dallas, Austin, Vegas, Honolulu, or even in Hawaii, in Florida as well, DC. So they pretty much everywhere. So these are the trademarks. They got the word mark, the Boil and Crab, for restaurants. See the logo, the Boil and Crab that's surrounding the crab. You got the Boil and Crab, that kind of color, with the boiling being in red and then the crab being in blue. Then again, you got the Boil and Crab as well, kind of the color logo of that, all for restaurant services. I'm kind of going to skip that. They're just pretty much talking about they have a lot of trademarks. So let's get to what the Boiling Seafood has kind of done wrongfully. So defendant, on information and belief, was formed in 2024, so just last year. They operate out of New York. Shouts out to New York. I may go to New York next month. So on information and belief, November of 2024, the Boil and Crab began using the infringing mark in connection with the offer for sale for the restaurant services, essentially kind of selling the same thing. And I'll tell y'all this, man. You have to let me know in the comments whether you think this is trademark infringement. Now, the plaintiffs, the Boil and Crab, is to the left. The defendant, the Boiling Seafood, is to the right. And I have to tell y'all this, man. Y'all got to be a little bit more creative if y'all looking to try to piggyback off somebody. The Boiling Seafood, the Boiling Crab, I think the Boiling Seafood is in trouble, in my opinion. But furthermore, I think they clearly try to piggyback off the Boiling Crab. Just look at it. The boiling, that part of it is in red. Then seafood is in blue, which is similar to how the Boiling Crab, which is have a trademark term, the boiling, which is in red. And then you have the crab part of it is in blue. So let me know, based on what you guys see here, the Boiling Crab, the Boiling Seafood, do you think that's trademark infringement? Please let me know in the chat. Like I said, I think the Boiling Seafood is in trouble, but this is kind of more so, just kind of be on the lookout for you guys. The Boiling Seafood clearly tried to piggyback off the Boiling Crab, and they were sloppy with it, in my opinion. They had it all the way down to the fact that the part, the boiling, that was in red. Then they had the seafood in blue, similar to how the Boiling Crab did it with the boiling being in red, then the portion crab being in blue. I think that's sloppy, in my opinion. And I think they clearly tried to piggyback off the Boiling Crab. I think the Boiling Seafood is in trouble. So let's see. The Boiling Seafood is also using the infringing marks. They sloppy all the way around. So again, you see the Boiling Crab, the trademark, to the left, and then you see the Boiling Seafood. Now they got a little bit different. They still got the crab, but they got the Boiling Seafood underneath the crab as opposed to around the crab. I think that's a little less. That's a little less bad. But man, this one, the storefront, I think that's terrible. I think the Boiling Seafood clearly trying to piggyback off the Boiling Crab. It doesn't look like the Boiling Seafood had or the Boiling Crab had a restaurant in New York. They had them in Vegas, Florida, California, Honolulu. I don't think they said anything about New York, but I definitely think that the Boiling Seafood tried to piggyback off of them. So it says the Boiling Seafood also used the infringing mark to advertise, promote its restaurant services in multiple mediums, including the internet. So I guess they got a domain name for the Boiling Seafood back in November. Your boy has some oysters, man. I actually like oysters. I don't know if that means I'm getting bougie, but I like oysters. The plaintiff origin oyster image. Look, they even kind of really try to bite off even the man. This is sloppy. This is sloppy by the defendant. Just let this be like just kind of advice to you guys. Don't be sloppy. First of all, don't commit trademark infringement. But to the extent that you're going to commit trademark infringement, don't be this sloppy. This is clearly shit. The defendant, they logo the kind of the items, how they're pictured. It's almost like they lifted it off the plaintiffs and put it on their website. Man, that's sloppy. That's sloppy. Let me know if y'all think it's trademark infringement. We have some other signage. Yeah, they just literally lifted all the advertising off the plaintiff, the boiling crab, and put it on their stuff. Man, that's sloppy, man. You talking about amateur night at the Apollo? Let me know what you guys think. What we see, like we have a comment here. Yeah, I agree with you, Brandon, on that one. This is very similar. And the fact that not only is the name similar, they lift in their advertisement. You see here, the crab, it literally looks the exact same. The same thing with the oysters. Literally looks the exact same. You go back up to the storefronts, the boiling crab, the boiling seafood. I guess crab and seafood is different, but the color scheme even looks different. This is amateur night at the Apollo, in my opinion. I think the boiling seafood is ultimately going to change. And a big part of this, why this becomes important, is because, look, you're starting a restaurant. You're spending money on marketing. You're spending money on advertisement, on the signage. And then to get hit with a trademark lawsuit and eventually have to change or ultimately close down altogether, why put yourself through that? Where you can just be original from the beginning. Amateur night at the Apollo. So let's go here. We're going to finish off here. We're not going to take too much longer because I do want to get to this monster one. I think that's another interesting one. The oyster image and the EWIH image are displayed on the defendant's website beneath. Yeah, we get it. That shit the same, if you ask me. So the boiling seafood is also using the infringement marks and images copied from the plaintiff's marketing and advertising materials. So I agree with that. Look it. Amateur night at the Apollo. See the boiling crab? Their marketing is to the left. The boiling seafood, they pretty much, look it. The guy t-shirt is even the same. They just changed up the boiling seafood for the boiling crab. This is not going to work, people. Especially when we got a franchise. We talked about the boiling crab. They got 20 to 30 locations across the country. And I think that you're going to get away with this amateur night at the Apollo. That's actually pretty bad. The guy's t-shirt is the same color. The image is clearly the same. The only thing they changed up on the guy's bib is the boiling seafood as opposed to the boiling crab. So in November of 25, so damn near a year ago, the boiling seafood posted the enhanced image of the defendant's claim page promoting the defendant's restaurant on Yelp. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Defendant's use of the altered hands image in the copy and text would be understood and construed by the prospective purchasers as representations that the image depict genuine food items produced by the defendant. And that's the thing. This is not even food items that y'all making. This is clearly a lift job, a heist, as we like to call it. So defendant's adoption and the use of the infringing marks in the infringing domain were in bad faith. I would agree with that. And undertaken with the deliberate intent to trade on the plaintiff's goodwill. I would agree with that as well. Let's go to 42. Defendant's false statements referenced herein were intentional and made by the defendants with knowledge. I would agree with that as well. Defendant's use of the infringing mark in the infringing domain as alleged herein is likely to cause confusion, mistake, and deception among relevant consumer public. Man, that shit, I agree with y'all, the boiling crab. I'm not going to go through the trademark infringement claim, which is the first claim of relief, but I do want to say, don't do this. Because if y'all do it, y'all not going to get away with it, especially when you're talking about a franchise. At some point, they're going to catch you guys. They're going to send a cease and desist letter. They're going to send a lawsuit. Now you got to spend money defending yourself against a lawsuit, and you're probably going to lose, which means you got to switch up everything. So just kind of be a word to the wise. Don't do this because you're probably not going to get away with it. Now, the second one, this next lawsuit that we're going to close with, I think this is a little bit more interesting. So this is Monster Straw. That Monster Energy, the energy drink that we all know, has sued for trademark infringement. Like I said, I think this one is a little bit more interesting. and close, and I want to get you guys' thoughts on whether or not you think it's trademark infringement. Before we do that, like I said, please hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. And to the extent that you guys are cooking something for Thanksgiving, let me know what your dish of choice is. My mom makes some amazing dressing and greens, so I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, you're looking forward to the turkey as well. So let me know what you guys' preferred dish of choice, given that this is the live stream before Thanksgiving. We're going to kind of pull up this last lawsuit. We're going to go through it and get you guys up out of here. Hit that like button for the YouTube algorithm as well as hit that subscribe button. So again, this is Monster Energy. I haven't had a Monster Energy drink in a minute. They're suing Monster Straws for trademark infringement. And actually, like you see the Monster Straws here at the picture to the bottom left. Apparently, what they say, the world's first super wide shake and smoothie straw. So I mean, they got something on their hands. Now they got hit with trademark infringement. We're going to skip the jurisdiction and venue. Allegations for all claims of relief. We're going to kind of scrub through this. Again, this is Monster Energy. You see the energy drink. Like I said, I haven't had a Monster Energy drink in a while. If I do anything, it'll be the Red Bull, even though I kind of do them from time to time. I'm going to skip all that kind of, their stuff just because we kind of know them. And I think it's important the fact that they added a picture with the straw in there as well, just to let you guys know that we sell straws with our energy drinks as well, with our bottles. So these are kind of Monster Energy drink cups. You see the cup holder or the beer holder, not the beer holder, but the can holder. These are all they trademarks. They got a number of trademarks on this thing. Let's get to kind of the bad faith. We're going to skip all the pleasantries. Let's go to Monster Straws infringing activities. I think this is a little bit more closer. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that Monster Straw is confusingly similar to Monster Energy drink? I understand what Monster Energy drink is doing. They're trying to stake their dominance. So anytime you have Monster and it's dealing with beverages, whatever the case may be, they're most likely going to hit you with a trademark infringement lawsuit. Now, whether or not they kind of win all the time, that remains to be seen, but it is a famous mark. So I do think they have a good chance. But again, we all know that Monster Energy, again, they make energy drinks. They don't make straws. So Monster Straw, are they trying to piggyback off Monster Energy? Maybe, but I don't think this is as clear cut as the last one we saw with the seafood boil or the boiling crab and the boiling seafood. I think this is a little bit more closer in my opinion, but let's kind of go through what they allegedly did wrong. So Monster Straw is engaged in the business of producing, selling, and distributing drinking straws. Yeah, I don't think Monster Energy sells drinking straws. I think they sell energy drinks, obviously, but do they sell drinking straws? Kind of not really. Obviously, drinking straws, do you use them with energy drinks? Yeah, maybe, but are you getting confused thinking that, okay, Monster Energy has somehow got into the straw game? I'm not sure. We have a comment. Let's see what the comment says about this. What does Brandon say? It's not the same. Monster Straw is all good to go. I would probably agree with you, Brandon. This is the interesting thing about this one is when you have a famous mark, like a Louis Vuitton, like a Starbucks, like a Nike, man, you just get a lot more deference from the court. So I do think, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's trademark infringement. However, I wouldn't be surprised if Monster Energy wins just because they have a famous mark. Monster is not a made-up term. However, Monster Energy is a famous mark. So I do think that they have a good chance of winning, even though Brandon and I, we're on the same page. We both don't think it's trademark infringement. But let's kind of get to what the allegations are. So without permission or consent from Monster, Monster Straw has marketed and sold and is offering for sale drinking straws using trademarks and trade dress that are confusingly similar to the Monster marks and the Monster trade dress. The Monster Straw mark merely adds the generic word straw to a dominant and distinctive Monster. I think that's a good point. Monster Straw also uses the marks Monster Bender straws and Monster Spoon straws, which merely add the descriptive phrases bending straws and spoon straws, respectively, to the dominant distinctive mark Monster. I probably less agree with that one, but whatever. Monster straws, Monster Straw, Monster Bender straws, and Monster Spoon straws marks are referred to herein as the Monster Straw marks. Look, I just don't think it's trademark infringement. I get it, Monster Energy. You probably win this one. I just don't think it's trademark infringement. But more importantly, hey, look it, they created a company off a straw, and they deemed themselves as the world's first super wide shake and smoothie straw. What are y'all waiting on to start y'all business? They started a straw company that apparently, I'm not sure what's different about their super wide straw compared to others, but apparently they're marketing themselves at least as the world's first super wide shake and smoothie straw. But it's a straw company. They probably going to make a ton of money. Now, they probably have to change their name. You see the pack of straws that you get at the top? Some signage here. So without permission or consent from Monster, the defendant Monster Straw has infringed on Monster's Monster mark and Monster's trade dress. I don't know what the whole trade dress issue is. I don't think that Monster Energy is selling drinking straws, but maybe I'm wrong. As shown above, Monster Straw trademarks and trade dress are confusingly similar to Monster's Monster marks and Monster's trade dress. You said that already. Okay, so this is an interesting paragraph 25. And I do want to kind of bring this up because I think this is very important. So on July of 2018, so 7 years ago, Monster Straw filed a U.S. trademark application. So they actually filed a trademark application on Monster Straw. But on September of 2019, so the next year, Monster filed a notice of opposition with the USPTO, the TTAB, the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board. The notice of opposition alleged that there is a likelihood of confusion between the Monster marks for drinking straws. On April of 2025, damn, that's crazy. That took 6 years. So let me kind of stop this because I do want to kind of go through it. I want to slow this down. So when you file for a trademark, somebody can oppose your trademark. So they have two chances to do this. If your trademark gets allowed, then they publish it and anybody can oppose it within 30 days. However, before that happens, somebody can petition the TTAB, which is the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board, to cancel your mark. And it looks like Monster Energy, shortly after Monster Straws tried to file for a trademark on Monster Straws, they petitioned the TTAB, which is a part of the United States Patent and Trademark Office, to cancel the mark, or to cancel not the mark, but cancel the trademark application because it was a likelihood of confusion in light of Monster Energy drink, their marks. And it looks like that won. So that's kind of big. I know Brandon and I, we are in agreement that we don't think it's trademark infringement. However, the TTAB, they said, look, we think that this is a likelihood of confusion. They canceled Monster Straws trademark application. Now, if Monster Energy or Monster Straws, if they got the trademark allowed, I think that's kind of good evidence that it's not trademark infringement. But it looks like in this case, the TTAB, the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board at the USPTO, they canceled the trademark application of Monster Straws in light of Monster Energy's petition to cancel it, saying that it was a trademark, a likelihood of confusion. So this is very important. As I kind of pull back up the article, like I said, Brandon and I, we're on the same page. We do not think it's a likelihood of confusion. But I told you guys, if it's a famous mark, they are going to get deference. And famous Monster Energy, much like Louis Vuitton, Starbucks, Nike, these are famous marks, and you might as well save yourself the trouble. If you have a famous mark and you're trying to piggyback off any word of that mark, please save yourself the trouble because they're going to petition you to cancel it, and you're going to have to spend a lot of money. That's another thing that I didn't mention. Where you have to defend yourself in front of the TTAB, what do the Italians say? Forget about it. Forget about it. It's going to take you a ton of money to defend yourself. You're talking about at least $10,000. So Monster Energy or Monster Straws, they probably spent at least $10,000 in this case at the TTAB. So again, that's another thing to keep in mind, man. When you're trying to piggyback off of a famous mark, they petition you at the TTAB to cancel your mark. You're going to spend at least $10,000 defending it. And they still lost. So again, just a word to the wise. If you're trying to copy or piggyback off a famous mark, you might want to think twice about it because you're going to be up for a lot of money that you probably going to end up losing. So that's what they're saying. So the notice of opposition alleged that there is a likelihood of confusion between Monster Straws, Monster Straw mark for drinking straws, and Monster mark. So on April of this year, shout out to my birthday month, the TTAB sustained Monster's opposition and refused registration after finding a likelihood of confusion with the Monster mark. Monster Straws, Monster Straw mark, and pretty much the monster marks. In its decisions, a copy of which is attached to, I'm not going to pull up the exhibit, the TTAB made a number of findings, including, without limitation, that the following: Monster's beverages and Monster Straw drinking straws are related goods. So they said that the beverages and the straws are related. They said that Monsters and Monster Straw channels of trade for the respective goods overlap. And Monsters and Monster Straw consumers overlap. The consumers overlap. And Monsters, that sounds weird to say Monster market is conceptually strong, and Monster's energy market has great commercial strength and connection with the energy drinks. I think that number 4 is really what got it. Pretty much saying, hey, this is a famous mark. And the Monsters and Monster Straw marks are highly similar in sound, appearance, connotation, and commercial impression, and so forth and so on. So despite that judgment, entered by the TTAB, so the TTAB, just to be clear, the TTAB said, hey, Monster Straw, this is a likelihood of confusion, so we're going to cancel you guys' trademark application. But despite that, Monster Straw continues to market and sell its drinking straws products under its Monster Straw marks. So they continue to sell their marks, and I can tell you that's probably not going to end well for you. So in July of this year, as well as August, Monster sent some cease and desist letters. Monster Straw did not initially respond to either letter and later stated in a telephone call that it would not stop its Hey, they pretty much told Monster Energy, screw you. Again, man, this is what not to do when you're dealing with trademark infringement. I get it. I'm with Brandon. We don't think it's trademark infringement. The TTAB agreed. And if the TTAB is saying it's a trademark infringement, you still think that is not, you probably want to be better off appealing that decision in court as opposed to, number one, continue selling it, then telling opposing counsel over the phone that we're not going to stop selling it without responding to the cease and desist letter. You're just asking for trouble at that point. So upon information and belief, Monster Straw's actions alleged herein are intended to cause confusion, mistake, or deception as to the source of the Monster Straw products. I probably would agree with that given the decision. Monster Straw has a duty to avoid confusion with Monster and its marks. Because Monster Straw entered the mark after Monster, nevertheless, Monster Straw has purposely promoted, marketed, and sold its goods in a manner that is likely to cause confusion with the Monster and its products. Upon information, believe Monster Straw acts complaint have herein been willful. I would definitely agree with that. And that's the big thing, is why you don't want to do it. Because if your stuff, this paragraph 31, if you look at to have been willful and deliberate, you're going to be on the hook for trouble damages, which is 3 times the damages. So this is why what the things that Monster Straw is doing is a big no-no. Even though Brendan and I probably agree that it's most likely not trademark infringement. But again, it's a famous mark. So Monster Straw acts complained of here and have caused damage to Monster and an amount to be determined at trial. And such damages will continue to increase unless Monster Straw is enjoined from its wrongful acts and infringement. So that's pretty much it, man. We're not going to go through the first claim of the reliefs, but this is definitely what not to do. I don't think the Monster Straws, as you see here on the screen, is trademark infringement. But when you have a famous mark, and I think we can all agree that Monster Energy is a famous mark, they're going to get more deference, which the TTAB agreed to, and you're probably not going to win that case. Not to mention, you're dealing with somebody that has a famous mark and most likely deep pockets. So you just better not to get off into that situation at all. Just kind of come up with something that's a little bit more original. It's pretty much a straw company, which, again, I want to employ you guys to kind of start some type of a company. Look at your boy. I had a call with, not a call. I was at the cigar lounge yesterday with a buddy of mine, and we have a company that we might end up selling Q1 of 2026, and we may end up getting a nice ticket off of that. So, again, start that company, protect the trademarks, and kind of you never know what can happen. Monster Straw, even though they probably not win this trademark battle, they got a straw company that they can probably make a ton of money off of. Now, they probably have to switch their name, their branding of it all. So kind of be on the lookout for that and come up with something original. I'm going to be coming out with something here very shortly with something that's going to help you out with that. However, they got a straw company. Nothing fancy about it. Doesn't look like maybe they have some patents on it. I would probably say not. But they got a straw company on a wide straw that they're selling. They have a business on, and they, like I said, probably making a ton of money despite the fact that they have to switch their branding. So start that business. Protect your intellectual property. Come up with something that's original. Don't try to piggyback. I get it. It's sexy. It's easy. To me, it's kind of lazy. to go off or piggyback off a brand name that's already out there, that's already trademarked, that maybe is already famous, but it's not going to end well for you. It's going to kind of, you're most likely going to have to spend additional resources to kind of fight your trademark that you can put into the business. You're probably not going to win that. So hopefully you guys understood that. Hopefully you guys learned something out of this one. Like I said, Brandon and I, we probably agree that we don't think it's trademark infringement. However, it is a famous mark that you're going up against, so you're probably not going to win that one. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Shout out to where you're from. If you have a question, definitely put that in the chat. Please, please, please hit that like button if you're here for the first time for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button if you're already not a subscriber of Everything Intellectual Property. Please, please hit that subscribe button to be a part of the IP community. I do want to kind of plug the ebook. Go check out the ebook. It's talking about how you come up with an idea all the way to monetizing that ideal or monetizing that product. I'm coming out with a product. I'm working with the product design team. I'll be announcing that soon of my product. And I'm have a Patreon that you can kind of go through the process with me, dealing with the manufacturer, dealing with the product design team, the trade shows that I'll be at. Your boy going to make an appearance in China, dealing with the manufacturer. So, we're going to be kind of going through this, and hopefully your boys make some money. But to the extent that I lose my ass on this one, you guys can kind of learn from me on what not to do. But I do think I'm going to have a lot of success. And a big part of this, I'm just kind of following the steps that I laid out in this God IP book. So I'm verifying the information that I have in my ebook. So definitely go check out that ebook. And if I lose my ass, then shall I just lose my ass? That's okay. Appreciate that, Brandon, for putting the ebook in the chat. Go check it out. God IP, the ebook. And I think that's pretty much it, man. So I am probably going to head out to the cigar lounge, check my fantasy football. Hopefully your boy won. Please have a happy Thanksgiving. Hey, man, give some gratitude to somebody over the next couple of days. Kind of really things for November as well as December. I kind of found myself just kind of complimenting people, men and women, whether it's the nails. I had a compliment on me on my haircut yesterday when I was out and about. So, man, just try to give a compliment to somebody. Let's give some positivity as we're going off into the holiday season. Cheerful, hey, leave a nice tip. I know I left a pretty nice tip yesterday, a couple days ago at a restaurant that I was into, and I'm gonna try to leave some pretty big tips going into the holiday season as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. We'll be back, man. We'll be back. I think are we in December next time around? Let's kind of check this out before I close out. I think next Sunday is the 30th. So we're still in November. Next Sunday, the 30th, I will be back live here on the 30th. So hopefully you guys check in, kind of back with me on the 30th next weekend. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Go check out the ebook. And I'll check you guys out next time. Peace. Have a good one. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.